Hey Dinnerbone, I've got a bug that I think needs to be brought to your attention. A week or two ago, you had asked the community to, on Twitter, you had said something like if you go ahead and, report something to the bug tracker or upvote the ones you want to see fixed, that you do your best to get them fixed before the snapshot went out that day. I did look through the bug tracker, and I was shocked to see that I actually did not find. I mean, I didn't look for very long, but I didn't find this bug reported, and it completely breaks the fundamentals of Redstone. So I figured it was going to be reported a long time ago, and probably fixed by 1301B. Currently, as you can see, I'm running 1304A, and this bug is still in here. So, a little bit of backstory. As we all know, the block update detection code has been completely rewritten. So that means that this, which is something I used to use all the time, no longer works. Back in the day, a couple weeks ago, pushing this button would cause this piston to pulse, and you could use that, like in my videos, you'll see me use that to, like this will be a sticky piston, which will push out, let's say, a redstone block in this case, and power a bunch of what are they called, command blocks, so that I could clear some stuff from my inventory. Anyway, so probably the most basic rule of redstone is that when you power something with the torch, it extends. In this case, a piston, it's going to extend, and when you remove that power, it retracts. Now, here's where the problem comes. Probably the second rule of redstone is that when the block that the torch is on gets powered, the torch burns out, thus the power it would normally provide is no longer given. Well, I'm going to flip this lever, and you'll see that the torch went out, but the piston's still extended. And if I break the torch, the piston is still extended. And if I turn off this power, the piston remains the same. So you have to really update it again, whether it be with putting the torch back, or even just block update like that will cause it to retract again. Now, this is kind of similar, but a little bit different scenario over here, where basically the same thing is happening. So if I pull this lever, the piston extends. If I pull this one, nothing happens. However, if I pull this one, and then this one, and then I pull this one again, the piston stays extended. And again, if I pull this again, it's still extended. If I put a block here, it'll retract, or similar to the example over there, if I do it like this, I would have to flip it twice, just like how I would have to put the torch back. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that to the attention of you guys, and hopefully that'll get fixed by the next week's snapshot, because it's really frustrating. Especially, let's say you've got a scenario where, for instance, let's say that this piston's facing down, it's a sticky piston, and you use it to maybe a doorway, and you press your button and you go to run through it, but the power doesn't cause it to retract, so you can't get in your house anymore. So anyway, it's something I would have bet money that somebody would have reported this bug before me, and I'm sure it probably has been reported, but again, I didn't really see it in the amount of time I looked on the bug tracker. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you'd be so kind to add this back in the game, I'd be really appreciative, but simply fixing this, which, at least before 1.5 officially comes out, would suffice. Thanks again. I hope you guys like that opening. It's part of a segment I want to start doing on some of my episodes that I want to call Dear Dinnerbone. Basically what I'll do is at the beginning of any given episode, I might throw in a clip of something where I basically send out a message directed at Dinnerbone that will be as quick and concise as possible so as not to waste his time. And I'll basically just, put out one thing, like, hey, something's wrong here, this is a glitch, this is that, and I'm gonna try as much as I can to not bog down anything. You know, only really important stuff's gonna go in there. Stuff that has either already been reported in the bug tracker but has been misinterpreted or ignored in regards to bugs, and then there'll be some features or little quirks in the game that I might want to bring to the attention of Dinnerbone. Actually, for instance, let me go ahead and alright, so can I do this? No, I can't. Alright, so that block over there is actually, and this is the happiest I've been in a long time. Let's see, what is it? 43, 1, and 8. These guys down here are actually this block, which I'm really happy about. And I'll put this in a future episode too, I'm sure, in case Dinnerbone isn't actually still watching. But oh, crafting not there anymore in creative mode. It would be nice if this would end up over here when you did something like that. And the reason why I think that would be really nice is because although it's fantastic to have this block again, I am not loving that when I break this block, it turns into regular stone slabs. Well, actually, hold on, let me go someplace where I'm not being bogged down by the beacon effect, stopping me from being able to read all this stuff. By the way, if you guys are, you may have noticed that I am playing in windowed mode instead of full screen. Well, turns out that completely fixes my flickering problem, so there you go. Alright, so this is 44.0, that says 44.0. These go together? They do go together. Weird. Anyway, okay, so that's enough of that. Anyway, so what I was going to say is that it would be nice if this block was similar to the way sandstone works. And I've been meaning to say this for a long time to Dinnerbone or whoever is going to work on it. What am I doing? In the way that this operates, where it becomes chiseled sandstone, I was going to say that the same thing would be great if you could do it this way. Now, I still believe that firmly, and I'd like to be able to get the chiseled stone bricks by doing 2 stone brick half slabs, but ironically, this isn't the only block to come in this 4th week of the 1.5 snapshots. Another fantastic new block is this one, which is sandstone, where the top texture of sandstone is on all sides of the block. Now this is actually fantastic. This is a great addition to the game because it looks, I personally think this looks so much better than quartz. Let me go ahead and pull quartz up. Personally, as like a marble. Now, yes, this one having the edges and stuff looks nice, but I really like the way that this looks. And it's kind of ironic. By the way, it's been over a month since I've put up since I've uploaded a video, and 50% of that is because my door here doesn't work, which this is something I just added, and it doesn't work because of the redstone thing I talked about. And the other reason is because of the flickering, because every snapshot, it's been getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, just so bad. And one of the things that's been really, really bad is that although now the flickering, and, you know, who knows, it could still be wrong. The preliminary test I did, this fixed the flickering altogether by going into windowed mode instead of full screen. But potentially this there might still be some. I won't be able to know until I've sat back and watched the recording. But I've been having an issue that has been getting worse with each snapshot, it seems, as well. And of course, I play the Mac version of Minecraft, and I've been noticing that when I would go into, you know, options, video settings, full screen, like if I do this, you might start notice flickering right away. I'm not sure how much it used to happen in the Nether, actually. Let's see. But it shouldn't be too hard to see flickering happening here. It should be pretty darn bad. Anyway, but occasionally, and I did hesitate a second ago because of this, but occasionally when I go in or out of full screen mode by clicking this button, I'll experience a complete freeze where the I actually have to force shut down my computer in order to get the computer to respond again. So we're going to turn this off and cross our fingers. Perfect. And one of the nice things about recording with QuickTime Player, and I'm sure probably other recorders might do this too, but when I do have to force the shutdown, it kind of saves my video for me. So once I turn the computer back on, the video is often still there. And it's already like ready for me to save it and stuff, which is nice. But I've noticed that I've had that same problem where things glitch out and where things glitch out and I need to shut down, force shutdown, even when I just maximize my my window. Of course, I've done the best I can to like hide the dock down there. As you can see all my professional work stuff like Maya and AutoCAD and all that. But anyway, this is actually potentially dangerous for me, having the windowed version of Minecraft as opposed to full screen, because on the off chance that I go into one of my hot corners when my mouse is more free, I might have to cut stuff out at times when I am recording while, you know, in the midst of working on a project, because of the nature of the industry I'm in, being visual effects and video game. If I accidentally show you guys something that is for something I've signed a non-disclosure agreement for, I've got to cut it out. And I'll probably just... Oh, okay, I thought it was a creeper. Dinnerbone, if you're still watching, there's been some real crazy, obnoxious things happening with creepers, where... I don't want to induce it over there. I could try it over here, I guess. I don't mind rebuilding this in creative mode one here. But occasionally these guys will actually fight creepers, and the creeper will blow up if they aren't killed by the golem. And as I'm sure you know, because you're probably one of the people who programmed it, golems were not supposed to be able to fight creepers because of the fact that it would cause damage to the buildings in the villages, which would let more mobs in or even hurt the villagers. Now, by some miracle, these special villagers I've had over, because I've had at least 3 creeper explosions happen over here, and thank goodness my villagers have not been affected by it yet. Now, the problem is with this creeper explosion thing, is that it doesn't only happen with iron golems. I've also seen it happen with skeletons, because a couple weeks ago, or actually the first week of the new snapshot, and I was actually recording for this and wanted to put out an episode in, you know, January, the first week of January. I was fixing this up, and there's obsidian here because the creepers were blowing up, and every time a creeper blew up and I had to replace it, I used obsidian instead of netherrack, which is way weaker. But I switched this out. Oh man, there's so much stuff I gotta talk about now. This is what happens when you go a month without recording because of stupid things like redstone updates and flickering. I decided to keep this tower as opposed to the one that was over there, that I had moved in with MC Edit to kind of see if I liked it. And the reason is because this tower over here can be seen very easily from that portion of the base, and also this new area over here where we're going to start building. And the other good thing is that the mob system is working while I'm standing here and also while I'm standing over there. Whereas if I had left the one that was over there, like way past over there, it would only operate when I was over here, because as you can see, those chunks are not loaded. Anyway, here's another thing that really has been annoying, and that is the sun and the clouds. Now look, clearly the tower goes past that, and I understand this is left over from the height limit. I understand, because when we are at cloud level, we're at level like 130, and that's almost height limit. And back in the day, when you couldn't really get builds up past the clouds very much, let's see, the building is like 256, right? So, I don't know. Could you used to build a? I don't know. I can't remember what it used to be. I'm guessing 128. Yeah. So you couldn't originally build up past the clouds, so it didn't matter that they operated this way. Now, as you can see, once I'm above, like my field of view is just above where I would see the underside of it, you can see through it. And now this is really funny, because look at, you can clearly see this big tower here. And now you see the sun. Actually, I don't know that I'm going to be able, I guess I should be able to induce this. Alright, so check it out. Look at the sun. You think that's weird at all? That I can see the sun through the clouds, even though there's actually a building in front of it. Same goes for stars at night. And it's just really irritating. Anyway, that's just another little thing that'll be probably in a future Dear Dinnerbone segment. But I really would prefer it, in you know, my personal opinion, the way that, and yeah, I guess I was gonna say that when you're in here, you can see the edges, and that might be distracting from down here. But when you look from the top, you don't see those edges, but you do see through the clouds, and you can see the builds underneath. And I think that this is just how it should look when you're looking from down here as well. So that's the bottom line there. I don't know if that has anything to do with the sky, and whether or not the sky being special, you wouldn't be able to see it. I don't know. No, it looks fine. It's just a little bit harder to see the sun, but really, you know, I don't know. I think it's fine. It should be easy to just switch that up so that you can see through it. Because I'm assuming, yeah, beacons are the same way. So, yeah, you can't see the beacon through it either until you're at just at the level of clouds. So anyway, alright, get rid of that. So yeah, there's a lot of things that have changed a bit in my world. And before I go back in the Nether, I'm going to show you. I recently broke. I went to T. Calhoun's base and I knocked the item frame with the map that he has off of the wall, and looked at it to see it update, because I wanted to see this change. And while that was happening, I noticed that his tree farm disappeared because he took it out. And then you can see here's my map, which hasn't changed much, but it's got this really ugly gray dot here, which of course is the roof of that guy and Dinnerbone, and this will be in a future segment, I'm sure. But you got to do something about these maps, because back in the day, like, this was my favorite thing about Minecraft. I kept a map with me all the time. It would be like water bucket, food, ender pearl, map, you know, and then that was just how things were. Because I loved seeing my builds in, you know, in this aerial view and everything. But a lot of things, like for instance, gravel, which I think is what he used here. comes up like sand because it has the same properties as sand. You know, being that it's has gravity and whatnot. So anyway, it still comes up on the map as sand, and sandstone comes up as stone. So if I had made that out of sandstone, the like roof of that thing, it would still look basically exactly the way it does now. Anyway, so we're gonna move on. We have a new member, Jake Woodruff, a good buddy of mine. He, similar to NAC 303, who currently he's taking up that spot on here, so I don't have to extend this because this was temporary until enough players are on. I don't think he's jumped on yet. He needed to get a wireless mouse, but hopefully we'll see some content from him soon. We've already got him all set up and everything in the world. And then here's the spawn village, and as you can see, it's changed quite a bit. There's something big going on here. Oh, in fact, that yellow there that looks like sand is also gravel. So that's actually where we're going to head. But I wanted to show you, and I'm going to get out of creative mode pretty soon, but I wanted to show you the differences that happened here. And the number one difference being that this rail system is no longer sitting right here all ugly. It's actually its own little area, and I don't know, it's so much better. Honestly, ideally, it would take a little bit more like traversing to really do it this way, but probably the best way I could do this is to move everything in here up a few blocks to get me closer to the nether ceiling, even though I'm already pretty darn close, and then have like a New York style subway where you would go in and then walk down some stairs to sort of get to where, like, you know, this sort of feature would be. And not only would that help because it would kind of be hidden underneath. Get away. Are you serious? I didn't kill you? Normally that kills things in one hit. Look at that. Anyway, my lovely exploit bow that I thankfully have a lot of due to the hopper glitch. Anyway, so this is what I've been doing now because, as I showed you guys earlier, this doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. So what I've been doing is just putting this here, hoping that, you know, because right now this is a tough time while waiting for the 1.5 official release, because I really want to play with these new features, but they seem to change week to week. Something that recently happened that I didn't realize was that I need to go through there, but I can't because I'm in creative mode. It's alright, I'll just have to go back. So one of the new things that I didn't even realize had been changed was that hoppers now, if you were to filter into just one side of this guy, the hopper would actually fill up the whole double chest. And the same goes for filtering out, which is fantastic. That's so much easier to handle, because originally I started thinking of ideas where I had to compensate for that, and I love knowing that I don't have to worry about that anymore. Alright, so we're going to head to the Nether Hub. I'm going to switch out of creative mode and get rid of some of the items that I obtained, and then we are going to take a look at the spawn village. Look at all that nether quartz. Alright, so things have changed a little bit. I should have prefaced this a little bit earlier, but I moved my whole nether base a couple blocks, and it was really not a fun task, but it has improved the way that my rail system can work. I've also moved the nether hub a little bit, but the best thing is that it's completely resynced my nether portals. So the thing that was stopping me from being able to connect that overworld mob farm shouldn't be an issue anymore. All the portals except for the ice farm, which isn't linked up anymore because of this new setup. All the other portals, however, are much better because of the change. Anyway, so here we are at the Nether hub. Still needs a lot of work. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I'll just go through. Nothing much to show there. Alright, I'm going to get rid of some items. And actually, you know what? I just remembered why I'm still in creative mode. First of all, I want to show you guys what we've been working on, or what I've been working on, really. Nobody else has been here. But you guys are welcome to. If you feel like you can build in this build style, this is based on a screenshot, or not even a screen. Well, yeah, I guess it is a screenshot. It almost looks like a render, but it's just the Sonic Ether shaders. But the map or the screenshot is using the default texture pack, and it looks really nice. And I really like the way this looks. Ours is a little bit different, but what I've been kind of doing is I've been recreating, because I have this shameful ability to do this. And there are changes, like this is now an odd number instead of an even number, and just stuff like that. But I've sort of been recreating it, their build. Here's that gravel I was referring to that looked like sand on the map. I've been recreating the build in order to sort of get into the mindset of, you know, this is how this build is going to go. This is how it's going to look, kind of stuff. And in doing that, I am able to sort of get in that mindset and continue building in that way. And I think it's going to be really nice when we're done. I mean, it's already looking really good. And the reason I just remembered why I'm still in creative mode is because I wanted to just try out what this might look like. Because the guys who originally built this used sand here as opposed to light birchwood, because the different color woods I don't think were released when they made their thing. They did have the ability to place things upside down, like the upside down stairs and stuff. And honestly, if you guys recognize this and know what the map is, if there's a download, or even what the creators' names are, if they've got a channel or anything, I would love to see more of their work, because I'm really in love with this style. Anyway, so I want to try real quick, just for the fun of it, and see what this area might look like with this as opposed to birchwood. Because this is the kind of thing that, you know, another person like BOO might use wool here. Most people will probably use wool here. And I bring up BOO because of his building with BOO series that's going on right now, where he's got that house that has the he's doing his medieval themes, and he's got that house that has the what do you call that? Oh no, I didn't ruin anything, did I? I don't think so. I think we're okay. I pushed over some flowers and stuff. That's alright. Anyway, he's got the house that has the wheat on the roof. That's what I'm trying to say. And that one has wool, and that's, you know, that's not bad. That's not a bad idea. I just wanted to check this out. It looks nice. It really does. Oh, you know what? Jeez, can't even say. Can't even say for sure yet. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should not have done that, because now when I middle mouse click that, I'm going to get sandstone. And I'm going to, or sandstone slabs, and they're going to look like that when they're put together, which is unfortunate. So we're going to have to take a look. I gotta be honest with you, I do like that, but ironically, in this particular case, I think it's too smooth. So I'm gonna go back to the way things were, because I actually like this better. By the way, oh my goodness, Dinnerbone, if you are still watching, oh my gosh, thank you so much for changing the way that bone meal works. Oh my goodness. I honestly, it's just been such a burden having so many bones that I've been getting from fighting the wither skeletons. I cannot believe, that's not the suggestion I would have given on how to fix it, but it's way better than the one I would have probably given. I can't thank you enough. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy for that. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Anyway, so now that that's been put back to normal, whoop, no, I lied. Let me pick those up. And I don't know if I have one in my inventory, but anyway, so come on. Yeah, I really appreciate that. As people who have watched my videos will know, that's just been such a pain. Alright, so this is enough of this area. I'm going to go ahead and grab a thumbnail. As soon as those particles are off screen. Nope, messed it up. Let's get another one. And, okay, whatever. Alright, and I want to show you guys one more thing. Alright, so I'm on a single player world right now, and I wanted to show you, when I opened up, well, first of all, you can see this is called iron. This is actually a trap chest. Oops, I threw my redstone torch. This is a trapped chest, and what I've got going on here is I've got a comparator sticking into this dropper, and this is just a furnace to keep the look from behind here. And when I open up any one of these chests, the droppers get powered, and this one right here, the comparator here apparently works on both this one and this one, and I imagine, yeah, that's right. And then this one is just getting it from this one. Anyway, so in doing this, like here, I guess the best way to show you is to just show you. Let me go ahead. I'm going to use droppers in this case. And now this one's going to filter through. It's now in here, and then it's in here, obviously, and then it's in the dropper. Okay? So this dropper has, 20 or so in here. Now when I open this, it's going to power that dropper, and with the comparator pointing into it, it's going to shoot in rapid fire. So if I open this, it's going to refill my chest for me. Now I've got it labeled as iron, but I use droppers in this particular example. But what I'm planning on doing is setting up ways to automate some of the farms I've got in the Nether. And so my gold farm will filter directly into the gold. The iron farm will filter directly into the iron. Coal will filter directly into here, and same with bones and perhaps even wither skeleton skulls. I don't know if I trust them to be filtered. I want to make sure I'm careful. And then I guess I've been thinking of ways to make the ghast farm even more efficient, by making a bunch of ghast spawnable chambers. So I could potentially get ghast tiers, which are supposed to go here, I think. I believe ghast tiers go here, and I think it's gunpowder goes down here, and I can't remember what goes up here. But by doing it this way, what I like about the dropper is that it doesn't look as ugly as having a hopper sitting behind it, because they don't take up a full block. They don't look that nice. And in doing it this way, I could even, it's so easy, because I could make this the dropper as opposed to this, and it's so convenient. I absolutely love the idea of being able to completely automate all these things in the Nether and having them going straight to where they belong. It's fantastic. I'm seriously hoping that in the future, there's like a little, let's say that these guys got moved over to the right, and then there's like a little window here where you can go I only want levers to be able to be put into this hopper, or I don't know, perhaps the item hopper could have 2 rows as opposed to just one, and then the underside ones would be these are the items that can be filtered through the hopper, or something. So you could automate things in that regard, similar to, I guess, the way that Feed the Beast works, where you can set up, I guess, the, I only know, everything I know about Feed the Beast I know from watching the Minecraft guys, but the way that I guess some of the pipes you can put down something and tell it, I want, you know, diamonds to go through this pipe or whatever, because quite frankly, I love the ideas of hoppers, but I don't feel like they are as secure, because, you know, people use things like what are those called, monostable circuits and everything, you know, rapid pulsers and stuff to get things going, and I just feel like when you log out and log back in, or a server stops and starts, you just run some risks of things getting broken, especially minecarts. Minecarts are notorious for getting broken when you move into an unloaded chunk and stuff, so I love that in Feed the Beast, I watch these items they're pumping things in, and I just think that's a much better way to do things. But I love to see what Dinnerbone can come up with, because he has surprised me many times in the past, and I can't wait to see that. Anyway, so this is hopefully going to be something I implement in the future. I'm not going to work on it much now, even though I actually do already have a whole hopper pipe system going all the way to the iron farm. I'm not really going to work on it until 1.5 is done, because I don't want to spend all this time working on things that are going to be slightly changed and all that. But I'm glad to be back recording. I'm so happy, hopefully, crossing my fingers, that the flickering's fixed. Oh, one more thing. You know what? Dinnerbone, if you stop me watching, here's a little glitch I noticed. As you can see, I'm in single player mode. And I think this is really weird, because I didn't expect to see any more glitches like this, but the beacon particles are semi-transparent here. Okay, now watch this. When I'm on the server, the beacon effects I see here... Oh, you're gonna make me a liar? Come on. I can't tell anymore. Okay, now I guess they aren't anymore. Earlier today, they weren't transparent anymore. They were acting like a, what are they called? Like a potion. And I drank a bucket of milk to ensure that, you know, I wasn't under the influence. Yeah, it looked just like that, actually, with the particles looked just like that, except that they weren't happening as often. They were just like a beacon would be. Anyway, alright, so it looks like that's not an issue anymore. That looks strange. Oh no, that's right. I don't normally get to see these while flying, because I only opt myself for this episode so I could give myself the slabs I needed to demonstrate that new feature. Oh, and that reminds me, one thing I plan on doing with this is I'd like to make, let's imagine the bottom of this is all hoppers, and then, you know, I'm going to wait till after 1.5 officially comes out so I can really see what the use of hoppers can be, and how efficient sorting might be able to become in the future. And I imagine it would be amazing if, let's say, you come to this fountain, and I'm not quite 100% sure you can do this, but imagine if you were to throw a emerald in here, it would filter through the hoppers, and it would go to the emerald output, and that emerald would power a command block that would teleport you to, I don't know, I wonder if you can teleport to your spawn point. Let's see, I don't know, I'm probably going to screw this up. I have no idea. I don't think so. Yeah, it's, let's not even make myself look stupid in this episode, but the other thing I wanted to do, that's just if you were to throw an emerald in. And the other thing I was going to do is, if you threw an emerald, maybe a, what are they called, firework would shoot off. But nobody's going to waste emeralds on that, and I don't want to refill those fireworks. Let's see, so the other thing is that let's say if you were going to throw in these guys, and I need to throw in 3 because I took 3 from creative mode, that it would activate a command block that would give you one of these guys. And I think it'd be cool to be able, unless the feature gets added where this is something you could get that way, or if you were to throw in 2, or actually in this case I would just have it be like if you were to throw in 1 stone brick, it would go through the system and come out with this block. And that way, some of the talented builders we've got on this server can have some of these blocks you wouldn't normally be able to get so easily. And all this would be kind of like the wishing well. Like you'd have to come to the spawn village in order to obtain these things. But it would really enhance the gameplay, I think, to be able to just come with your stuff and say, here's a ton of sandstone. Thank you. I'm going to take these blocks home. They're fantastic. They're new. I love them. And again, with the sandstone ones, I am a little bit bummed out. Oops, nope, I want to give myself at least one of them. 48, what am I doing? 48, 43. What I was trying to say is that I'm a little bit bummed out at the way that this works because, oops, when I break this, like I get these back, which, you know what, that'll probably get fixed, hopefully. This is, I guess, the first week that block's even been added. At least the creative middle mouse click will probably eventually let you get that back. I really like that. And I don't see a point in it needing to be a slab unless, actually, in sandstone sense, that could be an amazing looking slab. That perfectly smooth one. I definitely think that would be cool. So, anyway, alright, so I will see you guys next time. By the way, this is episode 30, which means that the website is now going to have an updated one of those like Google Earth style views or whatever of our world. So that means that this spawn area is going to be updated there, and you guys can see how this looks on that map. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. I'm going to be doing more recordings now that the flicker is fixed, and I hope you guys look forward to it as much as I do. Alright, I'll see ya.